Good evening. Thank you for joining us for our presentation on the touchscreen Chromebooks for first grade. My name is Dina Feldman. I'm one of the elementary supervisors, and I'm going to be walking you through the device with the help of, we have Mr. Doug Stokes, who is another elementary supervisor who will be manning the chat. For anyone that has questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to type that in. And our Chief Academic Officer, Mrs. Mahabir, will be joining us shortly when I open to a meet. And of course, thank you to Patrick, who is here filming us this evening. All right, so I'm going to get right into it. So here we have our new device. We know your child has been working on it already for the last few weeks, but we wanted to go through some tips and tricks and just make sure you understand all the functionalities that will help your child. So you can turn on the device by either clicking right here or just by opening it. Okay? Oh, I'll show you that. It's a little button right there to get on. Okay. So I'm going to open the device. Now your child's probably already logged in, but I'm going to log in as if I've never logged into the device. One thing we're encouraging our students to do, regardless of device that they use, is to make sure they log off and sign off the device every night, meaning turn it off, shut it down. This will allow us from the district level to send out any updates. In addition, it also allows the device to reboot. So if it's the first time you're logging into the device, you're going to enter your child's unique student ID. I can click right on the screen. I'm going to enter my password. Again, if you don't know where your child's username or password is, there is a video on our district website that shows you how to access that in the Genesis Parent Portal for your child's information. So you'd enter, again, their child's unique password. If they've already signed into the device, they won't need to do this again. Enter my password. Okay. Okay. So once I'm logged into the device, it automatically opens to our Edison ClassLink page. I know it's our Edison page, one, because it says Edison Public Schools and it has our emblem. If you are not on this ClassLink Launchpad site, you will not be able to get in. It'll give you an error. There is also a video to show you how to access specifically ClassLink as well. But on this device and on any of our district issued devices, when you open the Chrome browser for the first time, it will open up to ClassLink. However, let's just say it doesn't, and I need to open that. So I'm in a new tab. Well, where can I get that link? So I can get that link. Right here on the top left, it says Edison K12.nj.us bookmarks. I would click that, and if you see, there's ClassLink and Google Meet, which we'll be talking about in a minute. So here I can click my class link, and it would pop open for me. So I'm going to close one of them out. And if you notice, I'm just using my finger to close out the tabs, even though I'm open as a regular device. I can use all the functionalities of the touchscreen, bypassing the keyboard if needed. So I'm going to enter I would enter my child's student ID number and their unique password. Or some of our teachers and schools sent out a QR code to kids. To click to log in using that QR code, I would just click right there. It's going to ask me again, since this is the first time I'm turning it on, to allow the camera for this site, and I would just take a picture of my QR code. If I don't have a QR code, I would just enter my child's unique credentials. So I'm going to enter in there, and inside our ClassLink Launchpad is where your child will access all of their district-provided resources, such as Raz Kids, Seesaw, Savas for math, their literacy footprints for reading. They can also access the Meet here. Anything that the teacher is using with the child that we provide at the district level is accessed through here. Okay, so we're going to go and join a Meet. I'm going to get that. Now you can get that in a couple different ways. Depending on how the teacher has shared that with your child. They may post a link in Seesaw. They may give your child a unique name for the meeting where they have to put in a nickname, maybe the teacher's name. For my purposes, I'm going to go into the link that was sent to me and join that meeting. Okay. So now I'm in that meeting. Again, this is the first time. I'm going to click allow, and I'm going to join that meeting. Okay. We have Mrs. Mahabir. How you doing? She's over there. Okay. So now I'm going to show you some of the functionalities within Meet that'll help your child. So the first thing I'm going to show you is down here on the bottom right, we have our 3 dots. That's the controls for the Meet. So here I can control my layout and my sound and my video. So to change the layout, this is where I'm going to click on my tiled view so I can see all of my classmates. This way, it's not automatic. I have to go in and change that. One of the other great features of this device is on our iPads, our kids were not able to see each other in a Meet. Now they can and interact with their peers. So that's one there. I'm going to go back into those 3 dots again. And here I'm going to click on the settings. This controls the settings for the actual Meet. There's one I wanted to really point out and highlight. It says noise cancellation. What this noise cancellation does, and if you notice it's off right now, I'm going to turn that on. Once I turn that on, it'll filter out any noise in my background, such as a dog barking, dishes banging, maybe some background noise of a TV on. It'll kind of filter that out while I'm meeting with my teacher so that maybe they only hear me. It's the reality of our situation. We have noise going on behind us. This helps us kind of filter some of that out. So I suggest putting that on for your child if you have not done so already. The other piece here you see is we have our microphone. It's going to be my default because I already allowed it, so it's taking that internal microphone and the video. So here's all the controls. We can mute ourselves. We can turn off our video or hang up from the call. We can raise our hand if the teacher asks a question and I want to raise my hand to respond. I would raise my hand. The teacher, okay, Dina, what would you like to say? I might take myself off mute, take my hand down. The other thing they can do, another great feature about this device, is you see right now I have it as a typical laptop. I can seamlessly and easily switch it into a clamshell style. Now, if you notice when I folded it backwards. One of the reasons we want to do that is the camera is at the top of the device. So if I folded it and flipped it around, the camera will be at the bottom and the angle towards your child will look a little off and things will be awkward. So we're suggesting to do it this way. It's the easiest way to do it as well. And again, it's seamless to switch. It doesn't interfere or interrupt any of their meets or their work that they're currently working on. So I'm going to switch it for a few minutes. And up here on the top is their chat feature. A teacher may ask the child, how are you feeling today? And what's great when it's like this is I can click right here on the bottom and my keyboard pops up. And in the keyboard, I can go to my little smiley face, same like we had on the iPad. The kids can then select how they're feeling. I might be really funny because I was laughing about something and send that. I can also click the scribble so I can write. So I might try spelling. I'm practicing. I might say good. And it's going to recognize the letters and send it to the teacher. I can also do a speech to text. Also on that. Or if I'm comfortable, I can use the actual keyboard. Go back to my emojis again or choose my keyboard. I just click anywhere else to get rid of that and see now they have that. The other thing that may happen is that your child may get called into a breakout room by their teacher. What that means is they're working in small groups or individually with each child. When that happens, you'll see the child is invited. They have to join. And when they join, that's the meet they're in now, and they can go back to the main call. So here I may be working with a partner or, again, conferring with the teacher. So I'm going to return to that main call. And for the kids, the teacher would send them a message, say, okay, the breakout rooms have ended, and they'll kind of come back to the main call. So now we're back in the main call. So I'm going to come back to this. So what happens if they lose their browser bar? Oh no, I lost my class. I don't know where it is. How do I find it? All they have to do is click right down here. It's the 4-colored Chrome circle. Click on it and my windows open up again. What happens? Oh no, I X'd out of the Meet by accident. What do I do? Okay, all I do is go back to where I have my Meet shared and I go back and join again. I'm back in there again. What happens if they can't see me and I'm muted and I'm not muted here? On the top right of the browser bar, you see there's a little camera right there. Earlier on, I allowed access to this. However, glitches happen. It happened before. It may block it. So how do I fix that to make sure? If they're like, oh no, we can't see you, Dina, or we can't hear you, but yet I'm on in the Meet. This is the first place you want to look, right up here on the top right. That's how I'll know if my camera has access. Okay. So what happens if they can't hear me? My Meet, let me go back to that. My Meet volume is on, my camera's on, but the teacher can't hear me. Where could that possibly be related to? So what they want to do, if you want to do, is down here on the bottom, if you notice, my timing, my battery. Oh, need to charge that. And you see a little cone there. So I would click the cone and it pops up some different controls. The first control we're going to talk about is that speaker volume. So you see a speaker right here. I'm going to click that arrow and it's going to show me microphone. That's my internal microphone on the camera. So if I'm on my Meet or my Zoom and the teacher says you're too loud or I can't hear you, but I'm not muted in that platform, this is why. So it may be muted, completely off. It may be all the way down, or it may be all the way up. What I want to do is we suggest right in the middle is a great place to keep that. It's a good volume control. The other thing you're going to notice here, this is where our internet is, our Bluetooth for those that are children that are using wireless headphones. This is where if it's not working, you can do it. Also, this is where you can sign out of the device or turn it off. Remember, we want to turn it off every night to make sure that it can get updated. Okay, I'm going to show that one more time. We're going to click on the cone. Right here we see that speaker. I click on that arrow, and this is where I would control my internal microphone for the device. And then I notice I'm just clicking off anywhere else to get out of that. All right, I'm going to go back to my Meet. So now what happens if I'm in the Meet multiple times? I'm going to just join it a couple times just to show you guys. Now what happens on my end, nothing. I'm just in it multiple times. But what happens on everyone else's end is they're going to get all that feedback. It's going to create a problem. So what we're doing is, if we look at the top, this is how we tell our children, if you look, the Meet is the colorful with that red dot. Oops. With the red circle. So if we see, I have 1, 2, my camera's loading. Okay. Now I'm in this Meet 3 times. Well, Dina, you joined it 3 times. How do I get out of that? All we want to do is tell the kids to X out of it. So all they do is X out of it. I can either, again, use my finger, or I can go to the top of the screen and X out of it right there. So now, oh, and remember I was just saying about my camera not working or being muted before. So how do I figure that out? I'm going to come right up here and I'm going to allow that. And then, okay. So what do I do? It's not working. I went up here, my camera is on. It's telling that I'm muted because I'm in there. Oh, there, I'm not in there now. It's telling me I'm in the Meet multiple times. So what do? Again, the teacher says, Dina, you're in there too many times. I log out and I can go right back into it. Now X out of it. I'm going to join it again. And this time, make sure my camera's on. And I'm in there now. Okay? I have my settings on that. Okay. That is Meet. A few things we're going to show you now about the devices, taking pictures. There's two different ways that your child can take pictures that are the easiest way to do that. This is for the teacher may ask them to take a picture to show their work so they can take a look at it, give some feedback. So one way they can do it is using the device. If I look here on the bottom, this is my shelf. I swipe up and it pulls out a whole toolbar. So here is where my camera is. Mine looks a little different. Obviously, I have different things than the students may have. So their toolbars may look a little different, but here's my Chrome. But here's my camera for the device. I'm going to click on the camera, and it'll pop up. So I can take a picture, I can take a video, I can do a square picture, so it changes it. So I want to take a picture of my work and send it to my teacher. So all I do is I hold it up, get it in the frame that I want to show them, and I can click either the button or the space bar. And now it's in my storage, and I can send that to the teacher however she wants to see it, whatever way that they're asking to post it. What happens though when the teacher says, Dina, your picture is backwards, or it's a mirror image and I can't read it? So on the left side of the screen, they have little controls for the camera, timer, taking off the boxes, and mirror image. It looks like a square with a line in the middle, a dotted line on one side because it's a mirror image. So if the picture they're taking is backwards and the teacher says, Dina, your picture's backwards, all I do is click that and revert it back to that mirror image so when it takes the picture, they can see it. Okay. Another way that kids may take pictures are through Seesaw. Again, to access Seesaw, all they have to do is go into Class Link and click on the Seesaw tile. I'm not a student, that's not how I log in, but if I was, again, in my Class Link, I log in, click Seesaw, and it'll automatically bring me into my class. Okay. So in Seesaw, I want to show my math page. So I'm going to add, post work, and click a photo. Again, it's the first time I'm going on there. I'm just going to block it for a second and show you. So again, if it's saying I can't take a photo or I don't have access, I'm going to click in this little browser bar, always allow. Click done. And then I'm going to click OK. Now I can go back and use all of the features. So I'm going to click photo. In Seesaw, they have 3 different locations where a child can click to take a picture, depending upon how they're holding the picture or how they're doing it. And they also have that mirror image. Theirs is on the top right. It looks exactly like it does on the device, but except it's on the top right. So if it's the wrong way or a teacher says, Dina, your work is backwards, I click that mirror image and it'll correct the way that the picture looks. Okay, I'm going to close that. Again, what happened to I click on my Google and I bring it up. But I closed it out by accident. Again, where would I go? I'd go back to my Meet. Oops, typed it in wrong. I would go back to my Meet, however that's shared with me, and click on that link again. It's going to happen. They're going to click and X out by accident. We just want to show them it's okay. We go right back in. Okay, now I'm back in. And we're back in the Meet. So I'm just going to minimize that for a second. Okay. So again, to turn off the device, I can do it a couple different ways. I can click this button. I can come down here to my cone and click the power button. What we're suggesting is if, we went through all of these different things and technology is technology and sometimes it doesn't work. If that happens, we're saying do exactly what I just said. We can log off, shut down the device, and restart. So I can shut it off by pressing. I can click the bottom and click the power button, and it will turn it off. If you have any questions or need any additional support, we have our help desk. We have your child's teacher and the building administration. We thank you for your time and your continued support.